I do have a cousin, Jenny. She was born in Port Isaac, but she lives over in Florida now. She lives in a place called Boynton Beach. And this is a little story about my cousin Jenny. Now, my cousin Jenny, she was a wild child of the 60s. She was into that disco dancing and the bright lights, and probably drinking a lot, and probably the wacky backy. And soon, life in her little Cornish town became too boring. So she ended up in a hippie commune up at Camden Lock. And she made her living by sewing those caftans that we used to wear back in the 60s. And those patchwork trousers, you know. And she's on deck one day sewing away, and there's a plop, and her thimble lands in the river. And Jenny's so upset. She said, "Oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't sew without me thimble." And there's this great, the clouds part, and this great voice sounds, "Don't worry, Jenny, I'll sort it. It's the Lord up there." And this great hand comes down, and he dips into the River Thames and comes up with a thimble. And it's gold, and it's got rubies and diamonds and pearls. And Jenny looks at it and she says, "Lord, that's not my thimble. I'm sorry, Lord. I must be honest, it's not my thimble." So the Lord puts it on the lock gate. And he dips his hand back down. And he comes up with another thimble. And it's silver with moonstones and turquoise. And Jenny thinks, no, Lord, I've got to be honest, I'm a good Cornish honest girl. That's not my thimble. So the Lord dips his hand down back into the River Thames, and he comes up with a beat up brass thimble, and Jenny's overjoyed. It's her thimble. She's overjoyed. And the Lord says, "Because you've been such a good girl, you can keep all three." And Jenny's father, he was clever. He sold the gold thimble and he sold the silver one, and she ended up with this great big house right on the banks of the River Thames. And one day, her husband Ern, he's out mowing the lawn, and he's up and down on the ride-on mower. And suddenly there's this great splash, and the mower and Ern is falling in the river. And Jenny goes, "Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? My husband Ern's falling in the river." And the clouds part, and the voice comes again, "Jenny, don't worry, I'll sort it out." And the hand comes down and comes up with Aidan Turner, you know, Ross Polgar. And Jenny goes, "Oh, yeah, that's my husband." And the Lord said, "Jenny, you're lying, you naughty girl. That's Aidan Turner." And Jenny said, "Well, Lord, give me a break, because you would have put your hand down again and you would have pulled up George Clooney. And then you would have put your hand down again and you would have pulled up my dear husband Ern. And I ain't as young as I was, and I don't think I could manage all three."